Listen, baby, you know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
Attention all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent collective styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our collective music nation genres like hip-hop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, gospel, and more united. The Collective Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of collective music. Free memberships are available now. The Collective Music Nation. One voice, strength in unity.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
The number one hit music station.
Never heard of such a pleasant melody. Feels so good when I hear those notes. Makes me feel like I'm the sun in elevate. Ain't no reason we should stop the thing we do. Ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping the things we do. Ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping the things we do. I think I found myself, I said it already. Shout out to my futuristic and family. Started my journey. Rest in peace. And we keep on doing the things we do. And we will be
Good evening. Welcome to the Tender Village. Tender Universe listening party. It's gonna play a couple of joints while Lucia D goes and takes care of some business. We're super excited. Had a good listen to the album. Should I say the EP? So if you know anything about iLive, we always find albums or EPs that we really dig and we really want to support it. So we do listening parties to kind of help it along, give it some content online that they can reuse, and hopefully get the artist in for an interview. So close to the top of the hour, we're going to be in an interview with Kate from Tender Village. So we're really excited about that. So don't forget, you're tuning to iLive Radio. My name's DJ Sessions, Lucia D. Like I said, we'll be back in the studio in a few moments. So we're going to play a couple joints just to kind of warm it up a little bit. We're waiting for Stokes to join the fray. And then as soon as everyone's back and settled, we'll get into some really cool music and we'll start to review the fantastic Tender Universe EP from Calgary's own Tender Village. In the meantime, between time, let's give you some Alex Vaughan.
What time is it? All right, let's get it. Hey. Finna get it, going up, on with it. Hey, oh, oh, Hey, time to get it, but I ain't trying to get it, but I gotta get it. We just
95 and the water running. Still getting hot, but I can't stop it cause I gotta eat and breathe. We can't stop it cause we gotta get up and get out. The day is what you make it, and day out. 365, 24/7 days, yeah. One step closer to better days, yeah. Get up and get out. The day is what you make it, and day out. And I know it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, better. I know the first is coming. It be automatic, supersonic, and it don't give a damn about direct deposit. Checking my check-ins and it be so out of pocket. And now my train is running late. And I look to my left, I can see people late. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. 'Cause at the end of the day, yeah. Get up and get out. The day is what you make it, and day out. 365, 24/7 days, yeah. One step closer to better days, yeah. Get up and get out. The day is what you make it, and day out. And I know it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, better.
Sounds of the Alex. That's really loud. That is really, really loud. So welcome to the Tender Village, Tender Universe listening party. We've got Stokes over on the Zoom. I wonder if we can bring him in. Hold on one second. Hold on. We're going to bring this. Hold on.
Can I be heard yet?
So Toronto.
Yeah, we can hear you, Stokes.
Yes. I can't see any of y'all, but I guess you can see me, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we haven't flipped over the thing yet, have we?
Yeah, you should maybe, just so I can look at other people's faces, yeah?
Stupid me.
There we go. Look at you. Look at Blue Movie. Look at that.
Whatever, man. I ain't trying to hear your nonsense here, Stokes.
Hi.
What's going on, my friend?
I'm all right, Cub. Thank you very much for putting me onto this. I liked it. It was really smooth, but we'll get into this. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will. Lucia D.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Absolutely elated to be here. I thoroughly enjoyed this, so and looking forward to bouncing it around with you guys.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, I know you've heard of Tender Village before, Lucia.
Of course, yeah.
I've played it, right? But what about yourself, Stokes? Have you ever heard of Tender Village?
No, this is my first introduction to them, and it was a very pleasant introduction, for sure.
Yeah. It's a very interesting group. How I got introduced to Tender Village was actually pretty interesting. It was actually DJ Ronjon who actually introduced me. He sent a link on our social media, on our WhatsApp one day, and I was like, he sent me a message. He goes, "Hey, there's this new group called Tender Village. Did a song called Ralph Wiggins." Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's weird. You know what I mean?
Ralph Wiggins, like Simpsons Ralph Wiggins?
Yes.
Ralph Wiggins, Simpsons Ralph Wiggins.
I love it.
And I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of burst them on. For me, that was the first track that I heard by them. And yeah, man, Ralph Wiggins, simple and plain and just like that.
Yeah, so I started to dig into a little bit about who they were, and I was like, so Ron John thought they were from Toronto.
I thought so too, no?
No, they're from Calgary.
Calgary?
Calgary.
Okay, I'm impressed.
From Calgary. So I was like, Calgary?
Yeah, no offense to Calgary. The people of Calgary are like, wait, what do you mean Calgary?
But you know what's interesting is out that West Coast, we have Potato Head people out there as well. So there is a vibe and sound coming out of the West that I'm curious, like what is going on over there that this is what is being, created.
Well, you got Potato Head people, you've got Myra Mella, you had
even Claire Mortifee came out of that side, right?
Came out of that side. Joanna Barrero, she came out of that side. Mocha Only comes from that side. Like, there's a lot of artists out there. So I knew about the Vancouver scene. I just didn't know there was a Calgary scene. Like I just didn't know. But then I started digging in a little bit more. There's a guy called Zachariah who's really good.
Yes.
Oh wait, also from Calgary, Mood Rough. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong. They won. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they might be winning a pick, but in that area for sure.
Yeah, there's always people that we kind of tend to ignore. No offense, we're not very well informed when things are outside of Toronto, right? It's very much an enclosed environment when it comes to music. So when you start hearing Potato Head's probably the only one I saw that really kind of broke free and became like well Canada renowned and now world renowned in terms of fame and fortune and all the stuff they did with Illa J and all that kind of stuff. So. But I was surprised, and then I never knew what they looked like, and then I saw the sort of press photos. I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
I thought they had a very California look to them.
Right.
That style. Right. It's almost a bit of like it took a page from No Doubt. Remember how No Doubt like aesthetically looked? They had that kind of similar vibe, a bit more urban.
Yeah. I was going to say No Doubt is probably the closest thing I've seen to them in terms of the look.
The look, yes.
Yeah.
But sonically, the sound is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing, is like, not to cut you, Stokes, that's the interesting thing about their first EP, the Tender Village EP, was very jazz funk, very Dilla, in terms of the drums, like super Dilla.
Yes.
In terms of the drums. Like it's crazy good. But vocally, a lot more subdued than this one. Which is the interesting thing we're going to kind of talk about during this listening session.
The EP that you let me hear, a Tender Verse. Yeah, that's separate. There's another a Tender Village. Is that predates that?
There's one called the Tender Village. This is the first EP they did.
I wish I had a chance to check that out. Yeah, I haven't, but I will definitly.
Well, we're gonna play a couple of tracks, kind of like to warm everybody up. You know what I mean? Because we got like a couple hours to burn on this thing, right? So okay. So I want to play the Ralph Wiggins track.
Yeah, I want to. I'm actually really down to hear that for sure.
There's a Ralph Wiggins track, and then there's the Adam Driver track.
Yes.
And like she's talking about professing her love for Adam Driver. I was like, really? Adam Driver is, right?
Adam Driver's a homie from what's it called? Star Wars, right?
Yes,
is
sir.
That the same guy, long faced dude? He Han Solo's son.
That's right. The guy from Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. All right. So we're going to get into some Tender Village right now. This is their very first single that was released off their first EP. This is called Ralph Wiggins.
Our sound seems to have faded. It started out loud and faded out. You know what we say, right?
Rewind and come again.
You know what happened?
What happened?
My laptop just disconnected itself.
Oh, for real? Oh, no.
No, it's all good. I'll play it again. Don't worry. I've got it now.
I can play it on my side if you need me to.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think. Hold on 1 second.
You should have never put me onto this thing now, though. You know that, right?
I know that, man. I know. You think
no more normal conversations. Because in mid conversation, I'll jump more fire on you, right?
All right, you guys keep talking. I'll work out what's going on with this.
All right, cool. So I did get to peep a little bit of Lucia D's show, and I seen her jamming right there.
Oh, yes.
Yes. What gave you the most delight of the songs you played today? Not to put everybody else on the spot, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I had fun tonight, to be really honest. I think tonight was, sometimes you have a selfish show where
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, where the vibe is just really curated to tickle your own fancy. So tonight I just felt like grooving out a little bit. I pulled tracks that are a couple years old, some new joints, but I just felt like grooving out for the afternoon.
I definitely thought you were grooving out for sure. But nothing in particular struck you as this is my jam.
Tonight, you know what? I really have to say this. I am thoroughly excited about what Toronto is putting out musically right now. Like there are a lot of, be it producers, MCs, singers that are dropping some gems that I am very thankful for what the pandemic has allowed them to do. You know, Eternia has a banging EP recently released.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't heard
Lord, called Free. I finally took the time to like ride with that for the day in the truck. And listen, you came from the same time period that Eternia was rolling up, because that's the same time that we met back then, over a decade ago, right? And lyrically, you know, especially as a female MC, pushes so many boundaries. Right now, there's a very refined and mature Eternia that came out of this particular album. I love it. Absolutely.
She's a mom now, so it's a total different perspective.
Yes, Lord. Mom and wife, you know what I mean? So, you know, it feels very connected, because you kind of see, we've seen her and gone through this progression with her. And to get this one here, I think those are the tracks of the night for me.
Do you remember what it's called? Her latest release?
Free. Yeah. Her,
nice.
produced by Rel McCoy. She's got some joints on there with Mr. Liff, who is her partner. But just, you know, Wordsworth, of course, because they've worked together as long as I've known the two names. But yeah, it's a seriously solid release.
Thank you for the segue.
I have it queued up. If you're ready, I can play it from here. I can play it. You can play from there. Doesn't matter.
I've got it.
Okay, cool.
We fixed the gremlin.
All right. But if in the future if it happens, let me know and I'll jump in.
I'll give you the bat signal.
We got it over here too. I got you set.
Everyone's got it all set up here.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, we're gonna go again. Ralph Wiggins from the first EP.
That happened again. Fade it out.
So that was the introduction to the Tender Village. What do you think, Stokes?
First and foremost, hold on, let me jump on these on them.
More fire.
Second of all, they're gonna get a couple of those today. Second of all, this is like the sampler's paradise right here. Like if back in the day when I was doing production, if I caught one of this album, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like musicianship is incredible. I love her voice. She puts me in what's her name? I'm gonna get her name wrong. I think it's Moonchild.
Yes, exactly correct. Amber Navran.
Amber Navran.
Say again?
Amber Navran.
Amber Navran. Moonchild.
Yeah, she puts me in that vibe. And again, I don't think that's, I mean, there's obviously a distinction between the two, but it's that kind of smooth vibrato that she drops that's just incredible. I guess I didn't hear the lyrics well enough to tell the tie between this and the Ralph Wiggums. I don't know if that was just a title that they threw on top of it, but yeah, no, I love it. And they feel to me like they were like former jazz students, these cats all together that got together because the way they play is so intricate.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, have you ever been to the Tender Village website?
I have.
All right, did you see we were quoted?
I did, actually.
iLive Radio is quoted on their website.
Very much so. Right off the break.
Right off the break, it says their debut EP, which Toronto's iLive Radio praised as criminally slept on and their future classic.
Yes. That Ralph Wiggins joint bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Like, for that to be your introduction and your pop off into the scene, it's the way to do it. There's no way to hear that and not be it the vocals bubbling on top of the melodies, but that thing just, it's infectious, right?
Yeah, and it's a vibe for that whole EP, right? So I encourage anybody get an opportunity to go see or go listen to, should I say, the Tender Village is his first EP, A Tender Village.
Yes,
is pretty incredible debut, to be frank. So I was really excited to hear about the Tender Universe release, and I support them on Patreon, so I'm one of their Patreon subscribers. So,
I gotta get on the Patreon thing.
Yeah, man, Patreon's a really, really important platform.
You're getting high tech on me and thing.
No man, it's a way for you to be able to support artists that you enjoy and want to see their careers further.
Yes,
by financially trying to help them in any small way you can. And so it's a monthly subscription that I pay, and which the advantage of that is you get some content up front, you get some content before it gets released. You get to see the sneak peeks and the videos and stuff. So
you also get to bypass the middleman being any kind of record label and getting the money right into the pockets of the people who create the art.
Yes.
Go on, Stokes. You see, you were born in the wrong era, my friend. If Stokes the MC was around in the days of the social media era, the way he does videos and content, breaking out as an artist, Stokes would have been
yes.
Big. No more fire, Stokes.
No more. Oh, sorry.
More fire.
All right, it's 22 minutes past the hour. We're gonna get into this listening session. So let's start with the first track. Let's see what the first track is supposed to be. Hold on, I can't even get to my I'm trying to get used to it.
I got everything pulled up right here if you're ready to go. The first track is called Waiting for Your Love.
The brother's thorough, you know? Stokes is thorough with his thing.
All right, I hear Stokes is thorough, man. I'm trying to be thorough too, you know. I'm trying to do my best. All right, so the first track.
I'm one click away.
It's called The Backup. All right, so the first one, Waiting for Your Love. This is Tender Village off the Tender Universe album.
Before you drop that.
Oh, sorry.
I need clarification here.
Yeah.
Tender Village, and just so for the people who are watching as well too, because they're going to want to search this. Tender Village is the group. This EP is called A Tender Universe.
Correct.
Yes.
The group is called Tender Village. That's correct. If you're on the YouTube, you'll see all of the graphics laid out in front of you. So Tender Village is the group, and the Tender Universe is their latest EP release. All right. So let's get into the first track, which is
Waiting for Your Love.
There you go.
I know you need this time, but when it's alright, I wanna show you I've got so much to give, and I would rather be waiting patiently, 'cause I've got my heart set on you. I've known you all this time, first time that you've seen me cry, trying to get this out your mind. I know what it feels like, I know that you got your pain, and you're scared to feel the same. So for now, I'm afraid until you see
feel. I'll give you room to heal. And if you're giving, can take the wheel. I just want to hold you tight when you won't put up a fight. I know I can treat you right, but you can't help that you find you and me intertwined. I can't get it off my mind. I won't let you see the light. I just gotta wait. Now I gotta wait for things to come. You can't see the sun till the clouds are parted. Heard it from the stars above. I can give you all the things you're worthy of. So I'm waiting for your love. Now I gotta wait for things to come. 'Cause right now I know your heart is sinking. Love is gonna make you run, but I wanna be there to be your only one. So I'm waiting for your love.
All right.
Oh, dude, that's the one button right there.
What
That was
do with
fire.
Stokes?
Get rid of that one. This is one. That's what I wanted to drop. Sorry, I apologize. That other one was reserved for other things. But the harmonies, bro, the harmonies in this. This sounds like something that could have been written for, and I know it's a big jump what I'm about to say here, but I'll stand behind it. Michael Jackson could have been on this joint right here. This kind of reminds me of Flowetry, what's her name, Marsha writing for Michael Jackson kind of vibe.
Wow.
That's a very big
That's huge.
statement.
It's a big endorsement, I know, but I when you listen to the musicality and you listen to the writing and the again those harmonies, jeez, it makes sense. Go ahead.
I'm a huge fan of 70s music, you know this already, Stokes. And for me, this here had a real 70s Karen Carpenter.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Very much Karen Carpenter
Most
type
definitely.
of flow to it, which I absolutely love. I ain't gonna sit there in front. Like I listened to it and I was like, this is such a throwback track. And
Yes.
that's what it's such a throwback to classic, great songwriting. So
So
well
around the
executed.
same time period I'm talking then.
Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of talking the entire period, not quite the entire period. So
I'm thinking about like off the wall time period.
yeah. 78,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
78, 79. Yeah, I can see that. And I think that's the feel they were going for, and they absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Instrumentally, vibe-wise, flow, great lyrics. And I don't know if you noticed, if you listen to Ralph Wiggins, her vocals are a little subdued.
Yes.
On that, the music rides her over her vocals quite a bit. But on this EP, I think they've got it right, the balance just right on this EP. I think
Yes.
they've got it so now that it's like, it sits and you could really showcase her vocal ability.
That's exactly what I was going to say, was that there's the tone of her voice and the feel of her voice comes out more in this one than the others, most definitely. It's a very, and to be really honest, it is very reminiscent of Amber Navran, that Moonchild, that soft, vocally.
Jazzy.
Yes, jazzy, talented, but there's a subdued element to the voice that is peace. Yeah, it's peace. I dig it.
You dig it?
I dig it.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like they've obviously gone through growth and their engineering and mastering. It's definitely stepped up because as you pointed out, her sounding subdued in the first, I think that was more of a buried vocal type of thing, where this she's given her space in this for sure.
Yeah.
And, even the instruments sound, everything sound, the clarity is far more in this piece that I've heard compared to I guess I only can go off the Ralph Wiggins. That there's definitely it seems like there's a change within the post-production team on this for sure.
Yeah. There's definitely more. There's definitely more effort won't say effort because I'm sure they put a massive amount of effort into the first one, but I think they've really started to find themselves and find their sound. I mean, it was very, you know, when you listen to the Attender Village EP, it's very jazz hip hop driven in terms of how they execute it. This one goes across the board, to be honest, in terms of style and execution. So I love it. All right, so we're going to give that a 10.
Yeah, I give that a 10.
You give that a 10?
Solid 10.
Solid 10?
Yeah, solid 10 for sure.
We're going to do the sound effect, folks.
That was good work. That was good work right there. That was great work right there. Once again, we finish that off with a little more fire. There you go.
You got to keep it.
Okay, from those right there.
We got to keep it slightly Caribbean on this station. You know what I mean?
I know, for sure.
You know what it is. All right, so
ghetto.
So let's move on to the next track, which is called Mad. Mm-hmm. Mad. All right, so this is off the Tender Village 10A Tender Universe EP. This is track number 2, and this is called Mad.
Anytime that I try to get my head where I want it to be, like a shadow everywhere that I go, it will follow me. Going to breathe whenever I'm alone, breathing from me. Has infected my blood, stored in my mind. I ruminate when I got nothing to do. Losing time and I don't wanna waste it. Love's already been wasted. I don't wanna be so mad.
Bravo.
Love that break.
Bravo. Huh?
So I love that breakdown.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
You know what I find really interesting, to be really honest about it, when especially hearing this track now, the diversity in the sound that the group is pushing out. The lead singer, she is instrumental in the production, the songwriting, all of it, the melody of it. So for me, it's very, it's exciting to see the diversity in what is coming out of her expression. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yes. Yes.
Because this is clearly a different sound than both
Totally.
Ralph Wiggins and the first track off of this album. Different sound. It's got a more acoustically guitar heavy track, but then it falls right into this jazz feel in the middle of it, right?
So there's a very interesting lick that's behind this track, and I don't know if anyone caught it, right? But remember that D'Angelo track?
Bro, you took it before I could say it, bro.
Yeah, that D'Angelo track off the Black Messiah.
Off of the, what's the last album
Black
you just
Messiah.
had?
Black Messiah.
Huh?
Black Messiah.
Off of Black Messiah, yeah. I was gonna hit that point, but go ahead.
No, that it has that element to it. It really does. Like,
yes,
it has that. I don't know if it's the hook or the keys, or there's something that links it to that.
It's the
track.
weight of the guitar.
That too, and it's the lap slap thing.
Yeah.
That was all over that track. That's one of the things that made that doom 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 doom. It was also very jazzy, right?
Yes.
Same kind of energy that had.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, D'Angelo lays guitar heavy in some points that elicits that same feel, right? Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fact they haven't. It's very easy for them to stay in that kind of, first EP lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of artists will kind of stay in a lane that they feel that work for them or not work for them, depending on how they look at it, right? But for me, the fact that you've just gone from the Carpenters, heavily influenced by, like I said, the Carpenters sound to something that sounds very much like the old kind of like 40s jazz.
Yes.
Kind of. Is that track? That's what it is.
Big band jazz almost, right?
Yes.
Yeah, big band jazz. I'm a huge big band jazz person.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, I am too, for sure.
Dude, Glenn Miller and those guys.
Yes.
All day. So that was Mad, from the second track on the A Tender Universe EP, which you can actually pick up on all streaming platforms. Over there on the Apple Music and over there on the Spotify.
And Bandcamp as well.
On SoundCloud too.
SoundCloud, they've got that on SoundCloud as well if you want to listen free and stream it. But, we encourage everyone to go buy it down over at the Bandcamp.
Yes. More funds get to the artist through Bandcamp, I find, yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so goes on to track number 3, Escargot and Risotto. And this was their second single they released off of this album. The first one was Sprung. Both records have been singles of the week here on iLive Radio.
Tunes.
Because they're tunes, I have to say it. This one here, the most unusual title, the most unusual title. Really interesting, once again, in their groove and in their element, in their kind of artistry, in terms of the cover. Because those artistic covers that they do are pretty incredible, to be honest, the cartoon ones. But this one's called Escargot and Risotto.
I can remember
Escargot and Risotto.
Stood up to the name. Yum.
Well,
I'm half hungry now.
First of all, I don't do escargot or risotto. Just
Really?
No.
Yeah, bruv.
Hell am I doing-
Sheltered.
Hell on,
Hell am I
I
doing
get the
snails for?
escargot, but what's wrong with risotto, dude? You don't like rice, bro? What's wrong with you?
Like rice with cheese in it, and it's all runny and disgusting. I don't do oatmeal. It's too much like oatmeal for me. It's the texture.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Texture
goodness.
just throws me off.
Are you really British? I thought you guys were all about your porridge and stuff like that.
That's
Porridge.
Scotland, bro.
There's salt in it.
Scotland. It's Scotland.
Nah, you British like your porridge too. It's salt in it.
Hey,
Salt in my porridge.
It's not. It's really not. It's really Scottish. Anyway. Anyway. So thoughts on that track. Let's start with Stokes.
Another jazzy joint. I like the swing. And I also like the fact, I mean, we already noted this already, but I like the fact that none of their tracks seem to exist in the same wheelhouse in the sense that they are, they're not copies of the other. You know what I mean? Like you can listen to one song of theirs and not really get a full understanding of their reach. And I love that about that. I like the fact that I'm not going to be bored listening to their music going, oh, yeah, this is the continuation of the song before. Like each song seems like a different piece, and each one of them holds up on their own as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it allows for different entry points to their music, right? Mm-hmm. You will attract different types of audience. You know, there's a different feel and a different type of audience might key in and listen to the rest and say, okay, this is all cool. I like that, but this is cool also. Very, very smart. What about
Definitely
you?
agree.
What about you, Lucia D?
I have to agree. For me, it's like a lazy. My first thought was a lazy Sunday swing. You know, where your evening is kind of wrapped up, you're going for a walk, and this track is just bubbling you through the beauty of your evening, and a different vibe than what we've heard thus far. So that diversity, I find it super intriguing with this group, the way that they can span really kind of genre from genre, but then tying the genres in their own feel, right? Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, as always.
Lucia D's word of the day is bubbling.
Bubbling. It bubbles, you know?
Bubbles. Bubble.
Listen, to be honest, when I started to fall in love with music, like that was the thing that I found the most appealing to my ears was when a person's voice could, and that's what I would call it, was bubble over the track. So you hear the melody, but the voice just connects with the way that sound is so perfectly. It just feels like it's bubbling over the track. That's an important... Because you can hear a song where the music and the voice just don't go together and it's offensive to your ears, you know? But when someone's voice just bubbles over a track, it feels like you're on a ride with them. Like Never Ending Story riding that horse dog thing that Atreyu was riding. It's a bubble over the vibe.
You're really reaching right now.
No, I'm telling you. Greg, you know what I'm talking about. Stokes, you know what I'm talking about when I say it.
I know what you call my government, but still, I understand 100% what you mean.
Atreyu on the horse dog, man.
When I think of bubbling, I think of another kind of thing. So that's why. Every time you say it's bubbling, I'm like, okay, I can see that.
You're thinking basement party.
Yeah, that's a bubbling.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Not a reggae
it still
bubbling,
applies.
not that bubbling. It's like MCs, you know. I think of like Wordsworth. I think of Merce. They have a way of bubbling over the track, right? The voice just
bouncing on the track.
Yes,
it's the same thing
bounces on the track. You know what I'm saying? It's a bubble.
I hear what you're saying. Well, you know, to the whole idea of bubbling, I get it from I get what you're saying. I don't know about the Never Ending Story reference. That's a bit of a reach.
Yeah, I don't know where she went with that.
Riding
one
the horse with a tray, you don't feel that elevation?
Well, first of all, it wasn't a horse. It was something.
It was a dog horse thing, man.
Whatever it was.
What was
dog
he?
horse thing, she called it.
The flying dog horse thing that she was. Yeah, but I mean, you know, this is one of the tracks that really popped in the UK for that very same reason, right? It had the kind of that two-step.
Yes.
That two-step bubbling sound.
Yes.
We like that sound in the UK from a soul perspective. So it kind of resonated with a few people. They all thought it was a little bit unusual. I loved it personally, but they all thought it was a little bit unusual. I thought, yeah, when I heard this, and I heard it on the preview, they actually had it on the video on the Patreon playing in the background as it's being mixed. And I was like, oh, hell, what is this?
Yeah, I don't think their stuff is intended for people who are in a musical box who only can see things. Like if you're up for musical exploration and you want to be excited by something that you're not used to, this is them.
Yeah.
If you're like, I see things one way and that's the only way it's going to be, this is the wrong group for you.
No,
Definitely.
absolutely. And it's that diversity that I think I really enjoy, and I've really enjoyed so far about since in our listening of these tracks, 3 very different styles, while all kind of tied together by her.
Yes.
The way she executes it has been really, really an interesting listen. All right, so far, with it, Stokes needs to catch up with his samples. I'm gonna start throwing in my own soon.
More fire.
There you go.
All right. So up to track number 4.
This
This
is a tune.
is called Sprung. This is a tune.
Yeah.
This is a vibe, as they say. All right. So track number 4, Tender Village, A Tender Universe EP listening party right here. This is iLive Radio. This is Stokes CMC, Lucia D, and DJ Sessions, giving you some wicked tunes right now. So let's go.
Maybe just dial it back 1 or 2 decibels.
More fire.
Oh my God.
What did he do?
Yeah, I said it. So first of all, disclaimer for everyone that's listening on the iLive radio audio stream. We got hit with the automation bug, not bug, oversight, should I say. So of course we have automation in our studio and our shows finish at 8. So of course it automatically flicked off. I didn't realize that we wasn't actually live on the live stream over on the audio side, only on the YouTube side. But we're back on the audio side.
Back in it.
And the person that pointed out was actually Kate. She hits me up. She goes, "So when's this listening party happening?" Listen to iLive radio. I can't hear anything.
We're like, we're all in it.
How's this gonna work, right? Listen, we're an independent radio station. We try our best to do a million things at the same time. So
Yes.
that's what it is. Anyway,
We do it well.
That's a bop. Sprung.
yeah. No, hey, listen. When I first time I heard "Sprung" was their first single.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, yes, and triple yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I had something else on ready for single of the week that week, and literally the day before I was about to put out single of the week, that hit my inbox. I was like, okay, that's it, it's done.
Yes.
That's my single of the week. So let's go around the table. Let's start with Lucia D.
Lucia, I really love this song. It's between this one and the next one that we're going to listen to, kind of battle for my top of top on the album. Again, for me, it's the diversity in the sound, much different than the track that we just heard. Again, this is not a Sunday afternoon bop. This is it's a whole actual mood. You know what I'm saying? Her voice, I love the tone of it. I love the feel from it. Definitely, when I was digging and looking at the influences and such of the group, it absolutely positively, there is a reminiscence of that Amber Navran, calm and steady, soulful pacing of her voice. I love it, man.
Right, I got you. And we've got Kate in the waiting room right now. Just letting you know, so don't get nervous. Stokes.
Beautiful.
Is this Kate from is she from Tender Village?
Yes, sir. The lead
The
singer.
the voice that we're here talking about all evening.
So
I'd love to hear. I'd love to ask her a couple questions. That's amazing.
Okay, amazing. So we're gonna have an interview with her. Should we bring her in? Might as well bring her in now.
Bring her in.
All right, let's bring her in.
Yeah.
But while you do that, I want to tell you how I felt about this song because I got one word for this song. We'll wait for Kate to drop it first. Kate is connecting currently with audio, and we're going to hear her in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kate sounds like this.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hello, Kate. We can hear you.
Evening.
Oh, yay. Amazing.
Is this? Oh, she's only audio. We don't get to see her. Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine. We'll look at your picture. There we go. We'll talk to you. So you obviously know the song we just finished listening to, right, Kate?
Well, last I checked, you guys were listening to Sprung.
Yes.
Is that the one? Yeah.
And I was about to give my one word answer for what I thought about this song. Are you guys all ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Perfect. That's it. If you didn't hear me clearly, perfect. There you go. And one of these. I love that song. I just love where it takes you. And I think that's the thing I enjoy about Tender Village on a whole. It's definitely a journey. It's not there's nothing predictable about anything that I've heard.
Yes.
And I think that's what I enjoy the most. And that's what we're talking about earlier about people who are, musically in a box and people who enjoy music that just goes, it just destroys the box and takes you again on that journey. And this song for sure exemplifies that all the way through. Musically takes you on a journey, vocally takes you on a journey. The harmonies, you guys, I don't know, you guys have a recipe book for harmonies over there because it's just,
Well, thank you so much.
Welcome. Go ahead.
I think part of the reason why I have that particular taste for harmonies is just because I've listened to so much Stevie Wonder throughout my life.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I love him so much is because he just, his songs are so accessible, like they're so listenable, but they also just go places where you think like, how did he come up with that?
Mm-hmm.
And I that's kind of what I strive for. I think when I'm writing is just like,
You're nailing it.
does this go at least as far as, harmonically? Does this go somewhere that I find interesting? That's usually the goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's very pleasing, the resolve that you come to whenever you do harmonies too. It's very pleasing. Like you take someone there, and sometimes you can listen to songs like, it didn't go where I thought it was going to go. But this always lands in the right place, and I like that.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think for me, the one thing that, we were speaking about earlier, and the thing that I take the most out of this album, and for me, it makes me intrigued about you as a musician, is the diversity in the sounds that are being created by you and the group collectively, right? To, understand that you have such an intricate part in the creation of the sound, and then just to understand how sonically different each one of these songs are. I think it's a fascinating, for me, it's fascinating to understand you as a musician, a writer, producer, and artist. It's a really, really dope expression of who you guys are.
Oh, thank you very much. Those are very, very kind words.
So not to cut you.
Sorry.
So Kate, thank you for joining us on the show. I know Stokes went straight in on the
This is Felicia Temple, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
No, you're not, Felicia. Leave it alone. But thank you for joining us on this listening party. Like I said, we haven't done one for a while. We had to go through a few technical things we forgot about. We haven't been in the studio for a minute, but
oh no worries. I'm so appreciative of you guys, because like I've definitely noticed your support over, even when the first EP came out, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for quoting us on the website. Mm-hmm. We quote.
Oh,
you quote us.
I had to.
we quote that you quote us on the website. It's great. But yeah, we just went through Sprung, and like I said, when I first heard Sprung, immediately went for my artist single of the week. Immediately, it had that impact on me, and we've been talking a lot about the difference between your first EP and this one. The first one, vocally, and we all said it vocally. I think really stands out on this EP in terms of the execuation. And
thank you.
It's a different vibe. The other one's very like jazz funk, Dilla, hip hop breaky. You know what I mean? That we love the first one, and I do have a question about why you made a song called Adam Driver, but that's down there.
And the Ralph Wiggins too. We gotta figure that one out too.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's kind of fun. I mean, a lot of the musicians that I listen to, like their songs aren't necessarily really like all that deep. They're just kind of like having fun about something frivolous. So with those two songs that you just mentioned, Adam Driver and Ralph Wiggum, what's kind of interesting about those songs is the first thing that came was the bass line. And so I would just kind of sing the bass line, and then it went from there. And yeah, and then I guess those two topics were on my mind, like Adam Driver, and it's just like, you know what? Why not just write a song about Adam Driver? That'd be kind of dope.
And this is the crush you have on Adam
dig
Driver.
like why? Because Adam Driver is such a unique being. What is the draw to Adam Driver? I'm digging, y'all.
Well, so unsurprisingly, I was watching a Adam Driver interview yesterday, and one of the things that I find so interesting about him is how into his craft he is. He's like he didn't just land in acting, just cause. Like, he's so passionate about it, and he really thinks deeply about everything he does in his art form. And I personally find that attractive, like aside from, him having a unique look and being really tall and having like a deep, sexy voice or whatever. He just seems like a really cool guy.
Well, Adam, she's talking about.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I was like, I thought she was.
Not you, Stokes.
Not me. No, she's talking about Adam. I was just thinking to myself, because we were talking about, obviously we did some comparisons obviously earlier, and who you kind of, put us in the mind of. And this group, your group puts me in the mind of this group, but I could see far more, this is a group I could see you guys touring with. And I don't know if you've ever got this at all before, but the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know the internet, and I think they're really cool. I haven't heard that comparison yet, but that's a compliment for sure. I think that they've got a cool thing going. I wish I've heard more of their stuff. I've definitely listened to a few, like particularly the ones where Sid is singing lead.
Yes.
Right.
The ones I can think of, but no, that's definitely a compliment.
Same energy. You guys are a little bit more intricate than they are, but
Okay.
that same energy, same vibe, I could see like on a tour, it would only make sense. Definitely.
Yeah, well, them Moonchild.
Yes, Moonchild.
Yeah, I love Moonchild
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, Moonchild.
And those two tour together as well, too, Moonchild and Internet.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
See that? We have a tour lineup for you. Just like
if it comes north of the border, you never know.
yes.
Perfect.
What another comparison that I've gotten a couple times is Hiatus Coyote.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
And I love that band as well. I mean, like I can remember the first time I heard Hiatus Coyote is like well before Tenda Village was a thing, and I remember listening to them and literally thinking to myself like, oh, these guys are making the music that I always wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember showing it to my brother, and my brother was like, she sounds like you and the keyboard player sounds like you.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, they've always been one of my faves. So yeah, anytime anyone compares me to these bands or compares Tenda Village to these bands, it's always like, it feels good because, I'm being compared to artists that I really like and respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's good company that you're in for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things we made a comparison with, we're doing comparisons today because that's how we're trying to work out these things. The Waiting for Love track, we said a lot of Karen Carpenter in that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that one yet, but that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of Karen Carpenter in that in terms of execution and that vibe, 78, 79 feel.
Mm-hmm.
We're a little bit older. We're definitely relate back.
I said something different. I said that it put me in the vibe of this is a song that sounded like it could have been written for Michael Jackson during the off the wall period.
Ooh,
78,
yes.
79.
Yes. I'm very happy to hear you say that. I love Michael Jackson. I mean, yeah.
Wonderful.
Some of the best pop music ever written for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rod Temperton.
Yes.
Yeah, can't beat that, man. Cannot beat that. All right, so we're gonna quickly go into the next track on the Tender Universe EP.
This is my joint.
I know this is your
love this
joint.
one,
I know this one. This is called The Tide.
Yeah.
It's high.
Ah, yes.
Try to fly, but we can't.
supposed to be. Let it be so. Let it be so. Never gonna have certainty about where to go. But whatever's meant for me, I'll find. Baby, all I need is time. Why do we try to find what we can't truly deny? You gotta know when to try and when to let go. You can get something right in life at the wrong time. And the reasons why you may never know. Why do we try to find what we can't truly deny? Gotta know when to try and when to let go. You can get something right in life at the wrong time. And the reasons why you may never know.
That was The Tide.
The Tide. That's my joint
Stokes.
of all of them.
Stokes, do the honors, please, my friend. You Stokes there? Sorry, Stokes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, Stokes.
I think that one's probably one of my faves as well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant track.
Yep.
Really
This
is.
one I had to actually, I exposed it early this afternoon. I do like a top 10, and this one I had to throw in there. Like, I heard it, I'm like, I know I shouldn't. I can't help it. This track, just in all ways, I find it very perfectly balanced, beautifully. Yeah, your voice paired with the vocal, the melodies underneath, absolute bliss. Like, this is a track I love.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Stokes.
Very, very, very smooth. Again, I'm always about comparisons, right? And please, I hope that doesn't ever offend you at all, Kate. But
Depends on the comparison.
It's very, very. What's it called again? Jan Arden. No, I'm playing. It's very. I just wanted to go for the worst comparison. No, that wasn't a bad comparison.
No shade, Jan Arden.
No shade for Jan Arden. No, it just completely left my mind. Who was I going to say now? Oh my gosh.
This is a
comparisons for The Tide.
Yeah. Darn it. I just left my mind. It's good. I'll get back to this. Let's jump back in. It's smooth. I've been messing around too much. It's smooth. It's just really soothing. And again, like I said before, every one of these songs stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that's nothing to me that is a continuation of any other song. And I think that's always my downfall for any like music that I like. Is like either something just seems like they took the mold and just changed a few things, or it's just it's too similar. This is not the case here. Everything stands on its own. Everything sits by itself individually. If you released everything as a single, they stand on their own as all straw singles. And the other thing is, from what I've heard so far, there is absolutely zero fillers. Music today is like, you get 10 tracks and 3 of them are great and everything else is a filler.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard 5 out of these 6 songs right now. And are we on 5? I don't know what I'm misquoting.
We're on 5.
5 out of 6 songs right now. And every one of them stands on their own with strength.
Well, thank you so much. Question, is this the first time you're hearing these songs?
No.
No, it's not. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, as far as what you said before that, I try not to put what I consider to be filler in any project, because I just don't think that the world needs music like that. And I certainly wouldn't want to be putting out music that I didn't at least consider to be good, or that I didn't really like. So it's awesome that you guys feel the same. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, these songs are well picked. And yeah, I remember now the comparison. I knew I told you it was gonna pop back in my head. I'm old. Flowetry again comes into mind. Marsha comes into mind, especially with this song here with the tie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Marsha and Bros.
Yeah, great artists.
That smooth elegance, and the Tide to me sounds like a little bit of a baby making song, and that's what she's also known for. So that's why I make that.
I love that. I love baby making music. Like,
I gotta have them, right? Like they're responsible for half the population on Earth. Let's go.
I think the vast majority of the music I listen to is baby making music.
Yes.
It's an art form that's being lost these days in some modern music, right? So
true.
Because modern music is focused on the vibe of the twerk. And what's been lost is the vibe of the sway of the hips. And that's what Attend the Universe is allowing me to do tenderly, is to sway my hips. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I like that little analogy there.
I'm telling you.
Don't slap the table, man. You got feedback.
No, she's over there playing dominoes.
Yeah, it's the difference between
she is
the
right.
twerk and the
I
sway.
agree with you in the sense that I think, once upon a time, I've had this convo with my pops before too. Once upon a time, people used to write really intelligent, sweet, compassionate music, and that's kind of wavered off. Now it's just kind of like, hi, what's your name? I'm going to screw your brains out. And it's just like, I mean, there's a time and place for that too, but it's like, I want to get back to that music that makes me just kind of go like, yeah, I want to say that to someone.
Yes.
Or you want to literally send that. Like you guys, I was saying this earlier to myself, you guys have that music you want to send to somebody and be like, here's how I feel.
Yes.
And trust the fact that they're going to listen to it and go, oh, it's really sweet. Now, like, oh my God, that's disgusting. That's rude. How could you say that to me? This is really, there's intent within the lyrics that, and I get why you don't make any fillers, because I don't think you're capable of making fillers. I don't think that's your lane.
Oh, I think I am. I feel like I would just never put it out there, because like I said before, like I don't think the world needs more of that. There's plenty of that out there. So, and world doesn't need more.
So I have a question for you about the function of the grouping of you three. Now, how does it work? Is it more that you have lyrics and then there's a sound that's created around, or is there a sound that's created and then lyrics are birthed from, the elements of the sounds that are created?
It varies per song. Sometimes, because I produce everything myself, so I sometimes I will start with, like I mentioned before, like a bass line, like I did with Adam Driver or Ralph Wiggum, and I find it really inspiring to write over sounds that I really like. Like I know a lot of songwriters will sit down at the piano and write in that way, but I just find that doesn't work for me as well. Just because I think a big part of it is I don't listen to a ton of piano ballads. So when I sit down at the piano, I just don't really feel all that inspired. So I'd rather write to like a wah guitar sound or something like that. So sometimes it's the sonic aspect that comes first, and then whatever the song is making me feel, I'll know that that's what it's about. And then sometimes it's the opposite, where I sit down with the intention of writing about a certain thing, and then it goes in that way. So it really just depends on the song.
Wow.
Interesting process.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry for cutting you, Jason. Go ahead.
That's okay. So here's a question for you. So you say you produce all the music, you write all the music. So who is Tender Village?
Well, Tender Village is so if Tender Village was a village, I guess I'd be like the mayor. So I'm writing and producing everything, and then I have a core group of guys that I generally go to. But like for the first EP, it was mostly the same group of guys that that just played on everything. But then in Attend to Universe, it was a lot more diverse as far as who I got on it. I basically, one day I would love to have permanent, not moving members, but right now it is a bit fluid. Like I didn't have the same drummer. I think I had 3 different drummers on this one.
Oh wow.
One guy though that I really love working with, who is on this EP, is my good friend Jacob, and Jacob lives in Europe. So yeah, the thing about Tender Village is it's not really a live band yet, because it was conceived right before COVID hit. Yeah, so I think once that kind of picks up, and it has started to pick up a little bit, then it'll have more permanent members. But right now it's just kind of me dictating, writing, producing everything myself.
Right.
Wow.
Who are the 3 gentlemen that we see in the image? There's an image of you crouched, your hair is red, and there's gentlemen. They were the ones who played on the previous EP, or
they all played on Attend to Universe. And I'm trying to think. So the guy on the far left, that's Luis. So Luis was on the first one as well. So the other 2 guys, they were on. So everyone played on Attend to Universe in that photo. So the big guy on the far left, that's Luis, and he's a percussionist. He's an amazing musician, and he's got his own solo thing as well. So Luis Alpana. He played percussion. The guy wearing the Star Wars shirt, his name's Daniel, and Daniel's a really, really amazing bass player from Miami. Well, no, sorry, he's not from Miami. He lived in Miami for a while, did his thing there, and now he's living here in Calgary. He played bass on Sprung, and then the guy who's kind of hard to see.
He's in the shadows. He's being a little lurky.
Yeah. So that's Cam Dougal, and he's actually from Toronto.
Okay.
Moved to Calgary a few years ago, I think. I think he's actually going to be moving back to Toronto, which makes me sad. I might just have to move out there and follow him.
Hey.
Yeah. But so Cam played. I think he played bass on 3 of the tracks.
Dope.
Yeah. So they're all on the EP. I asked those particular guys because it's a little bit of an ordeal to get everyone together nowadays.
Right.
So I asked 3 really consistent, reliable people.
Right.
They wanted to do a photo shoot. So
100%.
yeah.
So what I have a question about also is that so we're here in Toronto, and Torontonians tend to get a little bit geocentric and think that anything outside of Toronto doesn't exist. But clearly there's a vibe that's going on in the West Coast. We were talking about Potato Head people earlier, and now yourself and your band members. What is the scene like out there, and what prior to COVID, because COVID kind of rocked everything off its side, but what was the scene like out there, and how are you unique in the scheme of music out in Calgary, or is there a vibe that you fall into within your city?
Right. So I would say, and I've had multiple people say this, that as far as what Tenda Village is doing, there's honestly not a ton of that going on in Calgary. But there is a pretty good, I would say that in terms of what circle that I run in Calgary, I would say mostly the jazz and R&B circles. So there is an R&B scene out here for sure, and there's some great R&B artists like Justine Tyrell, and I'm in a band with a woman named Joanna Borromeo, who's nominated for a Juno. She actually is probably the most similar to what Tenda Village is doing. She's very soul jazz. And then the other woman in that band, her name's Sana Kadura. She's a jazz drummer who lived in New York for about 10 years and then came back to Calgary. So there's definitely some solid talent out here. But the way it's different from Toronto is, well, obviously it's much smaller. So there's much less competition. But that's one thing I hear about Toronto a lot, is that Toronto is very competitive. So it's one thing that musicians often complain about here is that because there's so little competition, it's easy to kind of fall into your little comfort zone and stop getting pushed to improve.
Right.
And whereas, I have lots of friends that went to Humber and just talk about Toronto being so amazing for just the amount of talent that's there. Whereas, there's a lot of great talent in Calgary that ends up actually just moving away. Like I was mentioning before, my friend Jacob, he went to New York, and then COVID happened, so he went to Europe, and but a positive side of that is, I guess I can't really speak for the scene in Toronto. This is only what I've heard, but the Calgary scene is very supportive. It's supportive within the musician community. Like, musicians are supportive of each other. But then there's also not a ton of people that go out and see live shows in Calgary, which is kind of another bummer. I know that in Toronto, people are a lot more in tune with the music scene. So it's definitely a mixed bag. And sorry?
Sorry to cut you. I was just saying, are there a lot of venues, though, that facilitate that kind of live music?
Yeah, there's some, not nearly as much as Toronto. There's a couple really cool venues. I'm thinking about jazz in particular. There's a venue called Alvin's that I play 3 times a week. I have a residency there. I play during their happy hour just on my own, solo singing piano. And then there's another really great club called Betty Lou's Library, which is it's one of those speak-easy places where, like, you have to know where it is to kind of find it, and they have amazing jazz there weekly. So there's definitely cool venues, but I wouldn't say that they're widely known. I don't mean to sound like I'm bashing Calgarians, but I feel like Calgarians are a lot more into, at least a big majority of Calgarians are a lot more into going to clubs and dancing to like electronic music and getting drunk and all that. Yeah, it does sound like I'm bashing Calgarians. I don't mean to do that, but
I would have assumed that it's far more into there's much more of a country scene out there.
Oh, 100%, 100%. There's lots of country, lots of rock, lots of folk, and as far as like venues, much more venues that host acts like that for sure.
Right.
Kate, you mentioned Humber, and it's funny that you said that because I think earlier, guys, I was saying before Kate joined us that the band struck me as the kind of like jazz musician students who left that and then moved into doing this soul and brought that tutelage that they learned from that into this. And so you mentioned a lot of friends from Humber, and I'm thinking, is that where you're coming from too? Are you like trained jazz wise, and then you've taken these things and grew on it?
Well, so I never went to university or college. What I did was, after I graduated high school, I just kind of jumped into it and started gigging right away. And I picked up a lot of knowledge just through, honestly, just through learning songs. I fronted a cover band in Calgary for a long time, and we used to cover a lot of Stevie Wonder and Donny Hathaway. And
makes sense.
Yeah, and then just over time, there was actually a brief period where I thought maybe I would get heavily into jazz piano, and I ended up getting a lot of good knowledge from just doing that. Even though my focus is now more on songwriting and producing and singing and whatnot, but I did learn a lot through. I would get up and practice for a few hours a day. Just trying to do the jazz thing. So that was valuable for sure. But I was telling one of my friends the other day, there was a period where people thought I went to Mount Royal College because I was there a lot and all my friends were going to, Mount Royal College doing the jazz program, but I just kind of I wanted to get the experience of playing with these people without actually having to pay and, you know, go to that school and, you know,
Smart.
do homework and, you know,
Smart.
study things I didn't want to
Surround
study.
yourself by the right people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got one more quick question. I apologize. The label you are under is called Unbound by Sound. I just want to know if I get a quick explanation of that. I assume it's a name that you came up with. Am I wrong?
No. They're separate. They're a separate entity, and they work in collaboration with this company called Believe Music, and they. I'm not going to be able to explain this very well, but essentially they're kind of acting as a label, but they're it's a lot more relaxed, and they have a lot less control over the songs. Like all the songs I still own 100% of the rights to.
Awesome.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. So
they're more of a support team.
What's that? Sorry.
Are they far more of a support team than
They are. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say mostly Unbound by Sound and Believe Music helps me pitch the songs to different playlists and gain Spotify followers and whatnot. But yeah, but it's a lot more relaxed than like a hardcore label.
Gotcha. So one thing we do as iLive, you know, we've been involved with the live music community for a number of years here. So it's interesting to hear the difference between, you know, what happens in Calgary and out there, and how it works in Toronto. And you're correct. There's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of, I guess we would call them like they're like circles of people that kind of support each other.
Tribes
and crews that support each other. It's not as integrated as we would like. And part of our role is to try and break those barriers down as a station and a platform, and you know we curate events and festivals, etc., to try and break those barriers down. And we think we've done a pretty good job. But for yourself, I mean, now you've got your second EP out, you know, with a Tender Universe. You know, is there plans in the next, you know, in 2022 to start to tour? Once you get your musicians together?
There definitely is. Definitely. I was actually just so I just recently got a manager, and we were just talking about booking potential dates in different cities. So nothing is in stone yet, but there's definitely going to be plans to do that, especially in Toronto for sure.
Okay, you hear that, guys?
We're holding you to that.
We're going to hold you to that, Kate.
Yeah. You know, we call ourselves the Borg. So once things go out there, we lock you into that. Resistance is futile. You're coming.
Yeah, that's something we're really excited about. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that, because we're starting to plan our events for next year.
Amen.
You know, with the pandemic coming out, so we definitely have Tender Village on our radar for.
Amazing, yeah. We should definitely keep in touch about that.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
You'll definitely hear from us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll understand once you talk to a few people down here.
No, good. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. So you know, let's get into the last song, and then we can kind of finish off our conversation.
Before we do, Jay, I would love to hear her explanation about Max Galaxy before we play it.
Oh, really?
How did it come to be? What is it to you?
So Max Galaxy, I wrote that song a number of years ago, and I was always holding on to it because I really wanted to do it right. And I had a version of it before that I recorded in a studio that I really hated. I didn't release it. So anyways, I've had it for years, and it's called Max Galaxy. Mac is my brother, and I wrote it with him in mind, and it's just kind of about encouraging him to, you know, like it's never too late to have a new start in life, and you can feel like, you know, you wasted all this time, you know, doing things you wish you didn't do, but it's just never too late to turn your life around. And that's kind of what I was trying to tell him in this song. Mm-hmm. And another big aspect of that song is I really wanted it to be inspired by video games, because Tenda Village is a reference to a video game that I used to watch my brother playing growing up. It's called Earthbound, and it was on Super Nintendo. So I just sit there and watch him play this video game, and so it was kind of a homage to that. And yeah, that's the explanation for that.
Wow.
Okay, so I have one more question then, because Stokes had his question. Who does your artwork?
Oh yeah, I know, it's dope. So his name's Matt Springer, and I think this was when I first started working on the first EP for Tenda Village. I was just in a cafe and I saw this poster for a show, and I was like, oh man, that's dope. I need to contact this artist. And I did, and now he's just done like all the artwork, and it's kind of become part of our brand, which is amazing. So yeah, his name is Matt Springer, and you should check out his art because he's got a lot of other stuff on Instagram as well.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, I like that.
It's really
I love it.
It's really
I always knew that I wanted it to be just kind of the artwork to me an extension of the music, and not just, you know, a picture of my face or something like that.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm always intrigued with the artwork every time it comes out, and I keep seeing the style is the same. It's like you said, it's now become part of your brand, you know, in terms of how you present yourself, right? So, which fits the music too.
Totally.
Right? Totally.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. I'm super happy with it as well.
Yeah, it's really dope. All right, so we're gonna play Max Galaxy. This is the A Tender Universe listening party right here on iLive Radio, Toronto. Lucia D, Stokes TMC, DJ Sessions, alongside Kate from Tender Village.
Yes.
So that was Max Universe. Me and Lucia D were talking off microphone about what we reminded us of.
Yes. For me, instantly, Katie Tatum.
Katie Tatum
is where the beat and the way that the beat is not just an average sort of four-time beat or anything like that. That skip remind me immediately. I'm like, that sounds like Katie Tatum. That's the vibe I get.
Absolutely. Katie
I need to check that person out because I've never heard of Katie Tatum.
You would dig him.
Oh, you would love Katie Tatum.
Yeah, for sure.
He's an artist from Ireland. Basically one of the I guess the godfathers or the founders of the broken beat scene in the UK.
Okay.
So, if you're into broken beat, and he's a jazz guy as well. So he's a jazz guy at heart. Yeah, he does a lot of work with Jazzy Jeff and a few other people, Australia, etc. But yeah, Katie Tatum. You listen to Katie,
without a doubt.
You hear it all over. Him, little bit of tall black
guy as well.
Black guy in there.
That's dope. I've heard of Tall Black Guy. He's the is he a producer or a rapper? Or is he both?
Yes, producer.
Okay.
Producer, tall black guy. A little bit of Slacker the Beat Child. Yeah, when he does his Byron's Groove stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's so many things we hear.
But you know what? Your explanation before hearing the song actually made the song so much clearer. Because I've listened to it a few times now, but hearing that explanation, now that I'm listening to it, I'm like, you know what? Absolutely makes sense. You understand it. Yeah.
You mean the being inspired by video game music?
Yes,
or
without
being
a doubt.
My brother?
Well, for me, it's the video game connection to it. You can absolutely hear it. And then for us, because we're old heads, that's exactly what our game sounded like.
The old.
Well, those are the best kinds of video games. Like when I talk about being inspired by video game music, like I don't mean the new stuff. Like I mean
Nintendo,
the stuff from the
Atari,
early 90s and the 80s.
Yeah,
we're talking Commodore 64.
Yes, Atari.
Rob Hubbard. Ultimate Play the Game. Yeah, that kind of theme tune stuff. Yeah, man, it's great. I love it. Stokes, where are you there?
You know me already. I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, I agree with Lucia D that the explanation totally provided you a different trip down this lane this time listening to it. Because I remember listening to it and I was intrigued by it before. I'm a big Outkast fan. It had a bit of that kind of chancy Outkast feel to me in the sense that it can just, Andre can go off totally left field and do something that's just completely different from anything you ever heard before. And that's how this hit me. Again, the jazz musicianship comes out heavily in there, which is crazy because you're telling me that you're not this classically trained musician, and your music just reeks of that in the best way possible. So I love it. And again, it's another departure from everything else that we heard. Again, all 6 songs.
Yes.
Stand again.
Each has its own personality completely.
Yeah, there's
100%.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I listen to so many different kinds of music and I have so many different influences. So it just makes sense that, they'd all kind of have different sounds.
You know what I really enjoy as well is that sometimes you find, when an artist has the ability to sort of move themselves around sound like that there's so much of a chance that the sound comes out pretentious, where you don't feel a genuine vibe from it. You feel like this person is trying to create this particular sound. It doesn't feel like that, right? Each of these songs feels very authentic in what you are creating and what is being received by what you're creating. No pretense, no, you know what, she's being cute in this one, and this one, she's trying to be cute in the. Yeah, you don't feel that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's organic.
Oh,
yes, absolutely.
Well, thanks. I mean, that's really kind of you. I think that when you make music, it should come from the heart. So it should. If it's coming from the heart, it'll feel authentic, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I would stop sounding authentic if I were to, try to make music that I think will either like impress other people or I would be, you know, like making it because, oh, I think this will sell. I think that's when it's going to start to sound not authentic. But my goal is always just to make something that I really like. So, yeah, so I feel like as long as I keep that as my intention, then I should be good. I mean, not to say that everything I do is going to work, because, you know, I don't want to think like that. But, you know, if I'm making the music for the love of music, I feel like that's the best way to not go wrong.
I feel like there's two types of musicians, though. You have a musician that follows the leader, and then another musician that goes and finds and builds fresh snow. You guys are definitely on the fresh snow level, in the sense that I'm not listening to something that there's no expectations, and you got to put your expectations to the side when you're listening to Tender Village, because it's just they're taking you on a journey, as I said before. Whereas everything else nowadays, I think we're all sickened by the cookie cutter. Like it's this is what's selling. Everybody likes this. I'm going to do this exact same thing, and I'm going to sound just like that other person you heard just before. And it's for true music lovers. It's very disheartening. It's very it's a real put off for me when I hear someone like Lucia was saying, that it just sounds like, oh, I'm gonna try to make this like cute song because that's cute songs are selling right now. Right. Where this to me is, I'm going to make art pieces, and this is how I make art. And you know, I place the air here. I don't put it, you know, in the by the eye line, and I place it someplace else. And somebody will be able to come by and take a look at that and go, that's very different. But I like it. I like the texture of the paint. I like the strokes of that's how this music hits me, and I think I really am intrigued by it. I'm excited to hear the next thing you release, because I just feel like, you know, I brought up Outkast. Outkast to me is very much in that sense artists who go out and make it up, like it's their passion to be separate from whatever's out right now, and give you a brand new, you know, set of fresh snow that everyone's going to come trotting over to after, because it's so hot, it's so dope. You guys are destined to be like, you know, as you guys keep going further, just leaders. That people are actually going to try to copy your sound 100%.
Yeah, and I always want to make sure that when I'm setting out to create something, that I don't have, you know, other people's expectations in mind, because, you know, just like I don't want to create a piece of art because I think it'll sell, or you know, the general population is likely to buy it. I also don't want to set out to make music to like impress anyone, because that's when you start sounding pretentious. And so I feel like this just so happens to be my taste in music. It's like I just kind of like weird, quirky stuff that goes places that you weren't necessarily expecting. So yeah, that's my goal, is just to create music that I like, and you know, it'll be what it'll be, I guess.
The word that Stokes used there for me is what it is. It's the texture of the sound. There is something that even though all six sound very different and unique in their own right, there is a texture to, I think, your imprint on each of those songs that is very special. You know, I think you could put another vocalist within some of those tracks, and it's not going to have quite the same texture that it does with the way that your vocals are presenting with the vibe that you've created. You know, that there's such a wraparound of the voice with the sound. For me, that term texture is exactly what it is. There's a feel about it that's specific but unique in its own right.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I mean, outside of Stokes' reference to Outkast twice, that I let slide Stokes. You know, he does it on purpose. I let it slide. I agree. And like I said, we said earlier before you came on, Kate, I think this EP has multiple entry points. You know, there's something different, and there's a hook for any type of person that likes a certain type of music to go and kind of give them access to what you do, and that artistry carries all the way through. So where you've got fans here, you already know that.
Definitely.
And now, you know, I'm trying to preach the gospel of tender release to the rest of the people on our radio station and everyone.
Two personal questions, Kate.
Sure.
Do you deem yourself a perfectionist?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm getting a bit better as far as I'm definitely a perfectionist with vocals.
Right.
And when I listen to my own recordings, I will generally like not be able to ever unhear any flaw that there is in the vocal performance.
Right.
So yeah, I would say I'm a perfectionist, but yeah, no, just yes.
you touched on my second follow-up question, which is, do you find it hard to put the final seal on it? This is done. I'm moving on from this on to the next song. Because most perfectionists have that problem where they will spend a lot of time on songs, maybe too much nitpicking at it. Is that something difficult for you? Because I ask you that because your music is so intricate.
I would say that I usually have to be like at least 80% happy with it before, you know, I release it to the public, because I know myself well enough to know when I think I'm at about 80%. Right. I mentioned before when I did a version of Max Galaxy a couple of years ago, I would say I was at like 40% okay with that version. So there has to be a certain amount of okayness that I feel about it.
Right.
I don't know if I'll ever reach 100%. I mean, it's possible. But
is it your opinion, or is it other people going, "Oh, this is perfect, it's fine"? Like at the end of the day, it's got to be your opinion. I'm assuming.
Oh no, it's yeah. I mean, again, like that's always my goal, is just to make something that I really like, because I think that's the only way you're gonna make good art. Is it if it's like authentically you and what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sessions. So I apologize, Sessions, if I cut you off.
Kate, it happens all the time. Every time we invite this guy onto any show, he just cuts us off in the middle of sentences.
Inquiring minds want to know, man. That's what it is. That's why you have me here, right?
That's right. You're the great disruptor. All right. But Kate, thank you very much for joining us on for your listening party. It's been a pleasure listening and getting to know your music and getting to know you as well. And,
yes.
We look forward to exciting 2022. What is so in terms of music? What have you got planned next? Are you gonna kind of work this EP for a while, or have you started to put together, you know, what you're thinking about doing next in terms of an EP or a release?
Oh well, I'm always working on stuff. So you know, I've already got some songs that I'm considering for number 3. I mean, part of it is like, yeah, I'm always working on stuff, but also with each release, I'm kind of like, oh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have done that. So it's kind of like a motivator to keep getting better. So I haven't started recording anything yet, but I'm definitely writing.
Right. I got you.
For sure.
I got you.
I just wanted to say thank you guys so much again, because I definitely have noticed all the support coming from you guys, and it's really, really appreciated. And I know you guys are really doing your best to support independent artists, which is really important.
Yeah, I think it's essential.
So thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's essential.
The next thing that we have our eyes on is getting you to the East Coast.
To what? No, East Coast? Or
Forget the East Coast, to wherever we are.
Toronto.
To Toronto. That's the next on the plan. So keep writing, keep putting it together, and we'll make a way.
Casey Roberts?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Slacker. See that? We have a show.
We might have something for you, Kate.
Amazing. I mean, I really, really do want to go out there and do some more work. So, yeah. I mean, I think it'll happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, we'll do our best to help facilitate that. You know, this is what we try and do too. I try to curate the scene and make sure we can connect musicians together. I think it's important to help grow and strengthen, which is a very strong Canadian scene, to be frank. It should be far more recognized than it is. So, you know, that's kind of what we try to do, is try to highlight and raise the flag and say, hey, the talent is here in Canada, recognize it as Canadian, and push it out there, right? All right. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
perfect. All right. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
No problem. So,
You know what we should do?
What?
We should listen to Adam Driver before we go.
we should listen to
Yeah,
Adam
we
Driver
talked
before we go.
about talked about it so much. It'd be
We should. We
Yeah.
should. Let me cue it up.
for this hot guy with the weird face and deep voice.
It's so funny how many people say he has a weird face.
He looks so strange to me. He's an interesting looking, not strange. He's an interesting.
He has interesting features.
Yeah, the way his features are put together is really interesting. Like he's a person that you can see them on the street and you're not going to forget his face because it's a very unique face, you know? So yeah.
It is, and I find that like oddly appealing about him, to be honest.
Okay, go on with it.
Me and Stokes can't relate. I'm sorry. This is obviously a conversation between you lot.
We'll feel you through this song, Kate.
All
We'll
right.
feel you
All
through
right.
this
So
song.
we're gonna play a track off the first EP from Tender Release. This is Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, you're so fine. Something about you, I wanna make you mine. I see your movies on the TV screen. Your voice is so beautiful, so deep and sexy. Damn, Adam Driver, so fine. Long dark hair, can I brush it for you? I like monumental, and you're definitely bad. Body of fine, nature like the one. Yes, I like it, like it, like it, like it. She likes this guy. I like it, like it, like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like it. Some days, yeah. I don't think this love is just a phase. Maybe once I ask you to see just so I can see your face. Love me some coloring and just some good in black and showers like girl, they good to make out with you when what if? 'Cause I like it, like it, like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like it. I just watched Marriage Story again, 'cause I like it. Like it, like it, like it.
I like it, like it.
God.
That's
Yes.
the truth.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you for playing that one.
Listen,
Listen, you have to shoot your shot when it's time, eh? Kate, that a girl. Shoot that shot.
Go, listen.
I'm banging the
Listen.
table, sorry.
We don't have a soundproof room here. Don't bang the table like that, man. Oh,
I like it.
I love that song, by the way.
I like it, like it, like
Yeah.
it.
I know. Apologies if the mics were up. We were having a conversation about it at the same time. But,
I was saying, she really likes him, eh?
I've definitely had like this little fantasy that one day he'll hear it.
have you actually put it up and tagged him on it?
Yeah, tag him.
You know, he doesn't have social media, so I can't tag him in anything.
Really? He doesn't have social media?
He's doing the
Oh,
mysterious
he has
thing.
nothing.
Mysterious.
Okay.
And that's why he's so cool, right?
All right, yes. They're disconnected from the world. I get it.
I like it,
Yeah.
like it, like it, like it.
So Stokes, that's Adam Driver. Did you like that one, my friend?
Very funky. Loved it a lot.
Yeah.
Really dope.
Little
Really,
bit,
really dope.
I heard a little bit of Daft Punk in there.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that actually. The bass line
The bass line.
is somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely play that when I play out next time. definitely gonna play that. All right, well, it's top of the hour. It's the end of the listening party. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on a really cool show.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a long day inside the station. Myself and Lucia have been doing back-to-back shows. Thank you, Kate, once again. We will definitely be in touch. We'll definitely make sure that, in 2022, we'll do our best to try and fulfill your dream of coming out to Toronto and doing a couple of shows.
No, thank you guys so much. Again, I really, really appreciate and notice the support coming from you guys, and it's super appreciated.
No problem. Stokes.
Hello.
Hello, my friend. Thank you, sir.
No worries. Thank you guys for involving me in this, and thank you, Kate, for such great music. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. It was really great to meet you guys today.
Pleasure is absolutely all ours.
All right. So this has been the A Tender Village listening party hosted by iLive Radio Toronto. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll get take the audio off of the YouTube and get it as a podcast in the next couple of days. We've got to share it with everybody. So coming up this week on iLive Radio, we have tonight we've got Kushnubia Riveroso.
Yes.
10 p.m. EST. And then on Tuesday, I return with the sound table. And I'm going to drag Stokes into this one, and we're going to talk about our cast. I've decided.
I know he's playing. He's playing around.
We are going to discuss the historical relevance of Andre 3000 and our cast.
God.
I've decided it's time to put the nail in the coffin now.
I'll watch.
Are you ready, Stokes?
I was born ready.
You're born ready. Okay.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, did Kate just say something or someone?
She was laughing. She was laughing at you. She was laughing at you.
I feel like this is an inside joke.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, don't let him drag you into this right here. I'm a very passionate fan of Outkast and mainly Andre 3000, and he is anti. So
he is anti.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there.
This is not strictly true.
Oh man, that's too bad. I feel like I gotta side with the pro Andre.
Of course you would.
He's a weird one, Kate. He's a weird one. He shuns Sade and Prince.
Don't do Prince. Yeah, don't do Prince.
Don't do Prince. Don't do Sade.
Prince.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
No,
yes.
don't.
Why don't you do Prince? I mean, that's probably a long thing we don't want to get into.
He's disqualified. Don't even worry about it.
Like I said, the Minneapolis sound, that mid-range sound, doesn't appeal to me. I'm
no Morris Day.
No Morris Day.
Oh, it's his vocals.
It's the sound. It's that range he hits.
Okay.
There's a certain sound that comes out of Minneapolis, which is a very mid-range sound, which I don't like. I'm very much a bassline guy, being from the UK, so that's why I just never Prince just the purple leprechaun. The purple leprechaun didn't really do
the purple leprechaun.
It didn't.
Wow.
I will say I was always instantly a Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson fan, but it took me a little bit longer to get into Prince.
There you go.
So I can kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yes, man.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
but I arrived eventually though. That's
yeah. I mean,
that's what's
arrived. She arrived. That's growth.
I hear that, but anything like 78, 79 Prince, I'm good. Is when he started doing the whole
He's such a hater.
Solo Prince stuff. Him and Sade, I just can't.
Don't talk about Sade. We'll fight in here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now you've come to the end of the interview. When you started
about
Sade.
We'll fight in here.
No boundaries over here.
All right. So join me on the sound table. I'm going to try to drag Stokes in. We'll find a topic to talk about. No doubt we'll bring Andre 3000 into there somewhere. But we'll definitely do that. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great Sunday. If it's snowing out here in Toronto, please drive safely if you're out and about. And we'll look forward to talking again on our next listening party.
Yes.
We'll do something next.
We gotta do something next.
Omar's album's coming out soon. That's the next one.
Yes.
Album number 9.
9.
Number 9.
I like it.
Yes.
You like my Omar? Did I sound like him?
No, you don't. You don't sound like Omar. I sound like Omar.
I like it.
Good night, everybody.
Are we still on air, guys?
That's what I want to know. I'm asking you. Read my mind, Kate.